Is the range about to break? That's the question we ask ourselves in today's video. Classic Bitcoin review where I'll be giving my thoughts on Bitcoin, the trades that I'm in, currently what I'm looking for, and all the usuals. Alright, before we get into the video, please leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already, that helps me to grow on YouTube. Huge thanks to my sponsor, Blowfin, a crypto exchange where you can trade Bitcoin, altcoins. I'll have a link in the description which you can use. If you use a link in the description and make a deposit, send me a message on Discord or on Twitter and I'll get you added to my own Discord group where I post all of my trades live. We're currently running a 10k account to as far as we can. So if you want to join in on the action, use the link in the description and make a deposit and we'll sort things out. All right, with that being said, let's get straight into the charts. So, Bitcoin basically been in a range for a couple of months, right? With these lows right here as range lows and obviously the all-time high as a range high. Now the question we ask ourselves is the range about to break to the upside, or is this likely another lower high, right, compared to these that sends price a lot lower? Okay, and in order for us to answer that question, we've got to see what I always look at is liquidity, as you guys know, key highs and key lows, and where the key draw on liquidity is going to be. And if you look at that, well, in my opinion, what I see is an aggressive sweep of the lows right here, a huge buyback, a strong close back above a lot of key levels, and unswept highs above current price. These highs right there, these highs right here, triple highs. So if you look at the high time frame liquidity, in my opinion, it's gonna be resting to the upside. And that's a huge reason why I was looking aggressively for longs, targeting new all-time highs, and why I still think that there's a good chance that we trade to new all-time highs in the next couple of days. Of course, there's no point in trying to time it. If it's gonna be in a couple days, in a couple weeks, we don't know. But what we do know is we look at the chart, we know which levels we are watching, which levels we want to see hold, and where we want to see prices bounce. Okay, so starting from last week, right, when we got the dip into 105, it was the dip right here. I was looking for longs. Well, even though it was even before the previous videos or live stream that I did was when we were trading somewhere around here. What did we say? Well, local liquidity to the upside has been swept. We have a clean unswept low to the downside. So if we get a sweep of that low into some key pivotal area right here, as you can see, which was the previous monthly open. Now we have a new monthly open, obviously. But the previous monthly open was this one right here. Pivotal price action, the consolidation here that led to a higher high compared to this one. So that was just the must hold area, using liquidity, right, and the sweep of that lower time frame low into that area, right, was the trigger for me to be a little aggressive on longs. And we did open longs at these prices, targeting new highs, and look at the reaction that we got. Boom. We did trade towards, what was it, 110k. We failed to make new highs. So now what's the question? Are we still targeting new highs, or do we think that the local high at least is in and we trade lower from here? Okay, first thing I want to say about this is what I really like about the move that we got is that we didn't sweep liquidity above here. Equal highs means more stops resting above here, because people who shorted here put their stops there. People who shorted here also have their stops there. So a shitload of liquidity is going to be resting above there. Now all the people who shorted here is gonna have their stops above there as well, right? So that, in my opinion, is gonna be a big draw on liquidity. And that's the main reason why I still think there's a good chance that we trade towards new highs next. Now, after we got this sweep, right, we moved to the highs. Ugly rejection, I have to say, and we were looking for some downside, right, as we swept lower time frame highs right there and rejected pretty heavily. Dumped, good reaction from the current monthly open. From there, yeah, over the weekend, some ugly price action in my opinion. Nothing happened here. Then we popped right into supply, right? Supply being the sideways price action that led to the downside, lining up with OTE from the high to the low. Beautiful rejection. Was a clean short actually on the lower time frames, but talking about the bigger picture, right? You know where we're targeting. Anyways, lower time frame moves over the weekend. Now Monday open, prices started dropping again. So what are we watching next? Well, if we draw our OTE from that leg from last week, from the low to the high, we're gonna see that OTE and the area where we should be looking for longs is gonna line up beautifully with the monthly open and with our range mean, right? So key area in my opinion to hold, to target at least liquidity above here, so those triple highs, is that area. What also lines up with that is the fact that we have this clean lower time frame low resting right there. So if we get something like this, that would be fine. That would be actually, in my opinion, a good place to look for longs if you're not in longs already, of course. And from there, liquidity would not only be resting to the upside on the lower time frames, being that we swept this lower time frame low. So where would the draw be? Well, towards this high and this high. Not only on the lower time frames, but also on the higher time frames. Where would liquidity be resting? Well, above these triple highs. Like if you take it to the weekly on a clean chart, you're gonna see all of these highs right here, that they are gonna have the draw liquidity on the weekly. All right, so that's a clean plan for me for Bitcoin. If that, as long as that area holds, I'm gonna be holding my longs. Of course, if price does something like this, we smash below here, close very ugly and see weakness, yeah, at that point liquidity draw is gonna be towards here, and at that point I could see prices dump lower into range lows again, and so at that point I'll be fully out of longs, waiting for confirmation, waiting for a reclaim again. But as long as we hold above this area, I'm actively looking for longs. Well, not I mean, I'm already in longs, but I'm actively bullish, right? Targeting new highs. Okay. So a couple of scenarios. Let's say we do this, all good. We reclaim this. I'll be targeting the highs. If we fall below here, right? Bad sign. Get out until we reclaim this area again. If we move up from here, happy days. We will most likely TP half of our longs above these highs and above here, and then hold half in case we squeeze, break out to new highs and target 120k. Okay, so the position that I'm in was this one. I posted it live on Twitter, live in the Discord. So we're still in some nice profits. Of course, I would love to see a bounce from here, but I could even see prices sweep this low time frame low and revisiting my break-even point and then moving back up to the highs. So in cases like this, right, it's not because I'm in longs and because I'm bullish that I cannot see some lower time frame downside price action. And thinking like this doesn't only how do I say this? It gives you, it just makes you more relaxed whenever you see prices moving into the other direction than your position. So now I know that even if prices dump, I know where I'm wrong. I know that things will be fine if price does this and reclaims these, as long as we hold above this area. Okay, so that's why I'm holding this position. I'm targeting these highs first, then all-time highs, and after that we'll see how much strength it has. If prices do something like this, sweep the highs and reject and accept back inside the range, at that point the lows would have been swept, the highs would have been swept, no clean draw on liquidity, right? So at that point we're stuck in between range highs and range lows, and at that point I think it's more likely that we get a choppy summer bouncing in between the lows and the highs, and see from there. Okay, so that's my plan for Bitcoin. I hope you enjoyed. If you found value in this video, please leave a like, subscribe to my YouTube, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.